It's late at night. You think you're safe. You turn the lights out, and then you hear a scream and shout. No one's home. You're alone. Lay back down, pull up your sheets. Your knees start to feel weak. You can feel your heartbeat. Is your door closed? You feel your feet exposed. Now you're in a state. It's much, much too late. You can't escape this deadly fate. Warning, the following podcast contains strong language which may be offensive to some viewers and or inappropriate for children. The content within this podcast is intended for mature audiences only. Welcome back, our wicked fiends. This is Sinister Ghouls, Twisted Sisters, your paranormal and true crime. Welcome back. Again. This is your paranormal and everything creepy podcast. I'm your host, Ghoulie Gonzo. I'm here with my co-host,
Jojo Ghoul.
Jojo Ghoul, and she's eating a lifesaver right now. So
I put it out. I just took it out.
She put it out like it's a cigarette.
No,
I put it out.
I put it back in the wrapper till intermission.
Okay. Well, we hope you enjoyed last week's episode on New Orleans and the Lalaurie. Yeah, mansion hauntings, hotels, and Lafitte's bar, and all that fun stuff. We are going to go into what we're drinking. I am drinking. Well, actually, we're both drinking.
I'm drinking the same thing as you.
Yep,
I
made them. I made them, and it is our wine from a few weeks ago, Guilty, mixed with our wine from last week.
Yeah,
6th.
There's Sprite
Sense
in it?
And some Sprite, you guys.
I was going to say, it's really good.
Every time. So 6th Sense and Guilty. And we mixed it with a little bit of Sprite on ice because it's hot as shit again here.
I recommend.
Yes. And we had a really fun buzz last week with that wine. So also today is going to be one of our Wicked Tales episodes. Yeah. And we have a special guest, but we will let you know who that is after our mid-break today.
Oh, wait. We got to let them know what they're drinking.
Oh, that's right. Poopy Ghoul is drinking my favorite drink. Michelob Ultra.
I love it.
And our special guest is drinking Genesee Cream Ale. Way better than Michelob Ultra.
I wonder how many people like Genesee
Cream Ale. This person is just a celebrity in the room, that's for sure. This Genesee Cream Ale or PBR.
It's a celebrity.
See, it's a celebrity drink.
For the high rollers, really.
For the high rollers, oh my Lord. So today, Highborn. For the Highborn.
Oh, like in Game of Thrones and stuff, right? Highborn.
Of course, Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
That's
anybody who knows who this guest is
already knows. Anyone who doesn't know who the special guest is but knows us or knows things about us knows who the special guest is. Yeah, so today is going to be, the first half is going to be just a couple wicked tales. I have, they're good. So we're going to do that.
Listen, I think we should warn everyone in this episode, if you hear background noise, there are more people here than normal.
Yes, definitely more. But I think it's pretty quiet for now. But we have one particular person here who doesn't be quiet. And it's going to be extremely hard for that person to probably be quiet.
You may hear, you might hear
a full-on sentence come
I was
out.
going to say, you might be yelling.
Yes, so if you hear me get really, really loud, it's because somebody else is being really, really loud.
They may get sent to timeout.
Okay. So we are going to jump in to our Wicked Tales #1 episode. So sit tight. Bye.
Bye.
Our Wicked Fiends episode. Okay, we're pretty excited because it's our first one, and we're not talking about whatever we looked up. We're actually going to be reading other people's stories, and we're
hearing from you today.
Yes, our special guest is going to fill us in on some things that I'm interested in, and Jojo Ghoul. So right now I'm going to start reading one. This one, I'm going to call this one a wicked camping story.
Ooh, hey, perfect. We're going camping.
Oh, man. Okay, well, at least we have a lake house.
No, I love it. Yeah, it's a theme.
It is. Well, these other ones aren't, but yeah.
Is this a tent camp?
Is this a... Yes. Yes. I'm like, what? Is what a tent camp? Okay. So it starts off with, I was camping with friends in the northern part of New York by a remote lake. It's not very well known, and I'm not going to give the lake. This is from Anonymous, so they probably don't want their location, known. We were making s'mores, we had a fire, and all of us were having drinks, like always at camp, and telling scary stories to scare the shit out of each other. Out of nowhere, we heard a young woman scream.
No.
Yeah. Yep.
It's just gross to think.
No. We went to investigate and saw what seemed to look like a shadow person in an open field. Mm-hmm. The field was directly next to the tent we were sleeping in.
Ew.
Yeah. A big shadow person in an open field.
I wouldn't want to sleep in a tent next to an open field. That would be scary.
I know.
That would be too much for me.
Okay, you want to know what I picture?
What?
Just like a lion coming in the field, like running and getting... Well, I also thought there was going to be a big wave in the mountains when I was camping.
I was going to say, is this camp in Africa?
No, it's camp.
That's probably not a lion.
It's camp. Oh my gosh.
Wild lion.
Africa Safari would probably be the best bet.
Disney Safari.
We
didn't see them.
Yeah.
They weren't out.
I saw the lions. I saw them. Okay. Big field. Big field next to our tent. One of my friends screamed, and it looked like the 6-foot-tall thing started backing up.
Ew.
Out of nowhere, it was gone. But we didn't want to leave camp. We were scared, but we still wanted to stay. The whole night, all we heard was a woman crying on and off. It was wicked scary. Ooh, no pun intended. Wicked scary.
Hey, nice ending.
It was wicked scary. When we woke up and came out of the tent, there was a dead rabbit laid on the ground right where we opened our tent. And we noticed that the rabbit had been ripped apart.
Ew.
We packed up and took off. Never, ever, ever am I going back there again. I love your podcast. You guys are awesome. As you say, stay safe, stay sexy, stay spooky. Anonymous. That's cool. So, what's scary to you out of that? Listen, we don't get scared very easily.
Crying ghost. I also think a crying ghost is one of the creepier things.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
It's the crying ghost, the woman.
So I too have been camping in New York, and I didn't see a dead, torn apart rabbit, but there was a beaver that I ripped apart.
Oh my God! Great, high five.
Extra warning. Don't
extra
have kids
sloppy
in this
for you.
No, I would say don't let your kids listen because this.
It's explicit. They already know.
This explicit.
Explicit. Yeah, this is explicit. I said splicket.
Listen, I can't put a sentence together.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we're gonna get into the next one. This one, I'm gonna call it a wicked babysitting tale. So this specific person said that they don't play with spiritual world stuff at all. I had 5 siblings. My mom and my dad went out, and our oldest sister babysat us. We were all playing in our room on our bunk beds when suddenly someone who we thought was our father ran by the room.
Ooh.
So we all started calling for him.
Mm-mm.
I know. I feel like, I don't know.
It's creepy.
To think about it.
It's a creepy one, though, because I feel like I've
been
there.
Yeah. Yep. We were all calling for him. We waited, and we heard nothing. There was no response.
Mm-mm.
I felt him run past the door on top of seeing him. Like the movement, the stomping, like the running.
Yeah.
No. It's got to be.
I don't like it. I don't like any of it.
Nope. That's creepy to me. Let's see. So my sister and I decided to go and check the bathroom.
Well, they went to go see if he was in there?
So this is where the bathroom was right next to the bedroom door. She says it's at the end of the hallway There's no other place for anybody to go.
Oh,
Yeah. But into the bathroom.
yeah.
If you go past the room that way.
Right.
So we slowly walked to our door and peeked out to see if anyone was in the hall. That's what I would have done.
Yeah,
I would have just maybe not
you know
had
what?
somebody else. My older
Honestly,
sister.
no, I probably would have turned over and went to sleep because what I don't know in my sleep can't bother me.
Oh,
That's my motto.
Sleep. Sleep and put the blanket over your head.
Yep.
Okay. No one was there, so we walked down the hallway. We went into the bathroom, and it was freaking empty.
It's terrible.
No sign of our father anywhere, or anyone for that matter. What was it? We were so scared because we didn't really believe in ghosts or spirits or whatever. I don't know what the hell or why the hell that was happening to us. Thank you guys for letting me share my wicked tale. I love your podcast, Leslie.
Maybe her dad has a strong energy and it was just like his energy just doing what he does.
Yes, like the residual energies. Like mom here and dad come home.
Yeah, I saw dad. I talked to him and he wasn't.
Shadow people, episode 2.
Yeah.
No. Episode 1. This is episode 9.
It's crazy.
Holy shit.
No.
We can't blame it on we can't blame it on the alcohol.
We got 2 of these mixed together today.
Yeah, the big strong one. Oh my gosh. So that was Leslie.
Thanks, Leslie. And thanks, Anonymous. I didn't say thanks to the first one either.
And thanks, Anonymous. So we're going to get into our third wicked tale.
Yeah.
I'm going to call this a wicked tale Home Alone.
I don't know what I thought you were going to say, but it wasn't Home Alone. And I was like, I don't know. Nothing.
Okay. So this starts off, as I'm reading it in my email. Hi there and good afternoon. Got through your first episode and absolutely loved it.
Thank you.
Thank you. I am currently renovating a very spirited and storied house. But my take brings us back to 1999 when my parents sold our house in town and moved me onto an old farm.
Oh, already creepy.
I know. So 1999. The farmhouse was over 100 years old. The upstairs was in quotes, such bad condition that my dad told me to never go up there ever. He was a contractor his entire life and hastily made the first floor livable while he built what would become a sprawling estate. I would spend my mornings and afternoon home alone, as my dad and stepmom were gone from at least 7 to 4 daily. One particular day, I happened to get home, made a snack, and was cleaning up after at the sink. The house is quiet to where you can hear the single light bulb hanging from a wire buzzing with electricity.
I can absolutely picture that.
Yes, the light fixtures were bare bulbs like a creepy murder shack.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, right up. Yeah. I was going to say right up our alley. What the? A murder shack.
Shacks.
You know, because we build those. Like,
Love
what
them.
the? As I'm standing at the kitchen sink, I heard a sudden commotion on the opposite end of the house, against the far wall behind me upstairs. It was a bunch of banging around, and it sounded like 2 people were fighting.
Yeah.
I then heard 2 distinct sets of feet stomping and running across the upstairs.
No, I hate that.
To directly above where I stood. Ew, so wait.
No, I don't like it.
So he down looking where he heard it, he heard them run to above him?
He heard them running upstairs and then stopped where he was downstairs. God. So they were on the floor above him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Quiet back.
I looked out the window in front of me after I heard those footsteps directly above me, and I saw a body-sized dark shape fall in front of my eyes, and then everything was quiet again. So what I gather is something jumped out the top floor or fell from something or just fell. Like
maybe it was a ghost that died that way and was just doing it again.
Creepy.
Destined to do it.
Yeah.
All the time. I can't.
Let me take a drink.
We didn't cheers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I stood there frozen for a few minutes. Not sure what the hell just happened or what just fell in front of my eyes.
It's weird.
I turned on anything that I could for noise. My giant 1990s CD player, the TV, another radio, and every single light. I then grabbed my keys and went back to one of the barns behind the house. Both ridiculously creepy in every sense.
Mm-hmm.
And sat in my truck until my parents got home.
Yeah, I would have done the same thing.
Mm-hmm. You would have went on your bed and covered up in a blanket and laid there until someone. Second episode, shadow person coming down. She was on the porch, so we know she gets out of bed.
But if you didn't answer, I would have stayed in bed.
Okay, then I'm also right. After I told them what happened, they told me about how they came to buy the farm. There was a murder on the farm.
See?
I would have to check the library again for the exact date, as I found it in a book of local murders, where the farmhand had an affair with the farmer's wife. She tried to break it off, and he killed her with a sickle. There was one in the big barn when there were giant saw blades lodged 2 to 3 inches into 18-inch thick timbers. Wow. So that's a big sickle.
It's a big sickle.
The daughter of the couple never left the house and remained bedridden. There in her age, I think old age, until someone moved her into a nursing home and my parents bought the property. Oh, so like,
ew,
dude, so
creepy.
right before they moved in, it was.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like far back in the history of the house.
Like a lot of, like at least 3 other people lived there first.
I know. I hope they got a bargain.
Creepy.
They usually, don't they have like a murder bargain?
I'm not sure. He says, I went upstairs to check it out a couple weeks later, thinking the floors were unstable and all of that. It was in mint condition from the 40s or 50s. And the lady's bedroom was just as it was when she left. The walls plastered in portraits of Jesus, crosses, and other religious items. There was nothing unstable about the upstairs other than the energy that remained behind from a family ripped apart. That's creepy.
Yeah.
Great podcast, and I am looking forward to digging into the next episodes. Take care and great job! Exclamation, Scott.
Thanks for your story.
Thanks, Scott. That was creepy as shit.
Good details too.
Yeah, I mean, you write great.
Good storytelling.
Yeah, that was really, really good. It was creepy. Creepy.
That is creepy. I don't like any of those stories.
I know. And I think it's pretty cool that you're currently renovating a cool, creepy place again. Like, I mean, I think it's cool and creepy, but.
I mean, yeah, I love the creepy. Like, those, I don't like those stories because they're scary, but I like them because they're scary.
Listen, I don't know, but that was absolutely the perfect. That was.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Listen, anyone that's like us knows what that meant.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's it.
No,
that's fine.
So, okay. So that is today's Wicked Tales, the 3 stories. If you are interested in giving us one of your Wicked Tales, you can go to sinisterghoul23@gmail.com. Send me your Wicked Tale or your true crime or anything creepy. Like I say, podcast. Yeah.
Oh, that was very ASMR.
Yeah,
I liked
yeah.
it.
No.
I think it was good.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So right now we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to have our special guest on. It's going to be pretty chill. We're going to be hanging out. Probably be some swear words. There will be swear words. So sit back and enjoy our Father's break music again. Break.
Bye.
Bye.
Making a dream on this little boo 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 break. Da da ba da boo 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 boo.
Already starting with a laugh.
Always, I can't help it, and I can't hear myself now.
Listen, Jojo Ghoul does not have a headset on right now. It's our special guest and myself that have one. But welcome back from our break.
Hi.
Our boo break. So our special guest today is the one and only. Hold on. Papa. Ghoulie. Papa
Papa
Ghoulie.
Ghoulie, our father.
It's our dad. And that was his music also, just so you know. Also, that was his music. Not as good as his break song, but it's a really good one.
You can't really beat the break song.
So, yeah, so this is Papa Ghoul, our dad. Hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, my children, my army.
We are his army, if you heard him.
Yep.
This is our Viking. This is our badass tattooed up American loving dad.
Yes. And the loud guest is our mother.
Our mama, Gigi Ghoul. If anybody knows our mother, we know why TikTok is on in the background, and we know why we hear full-blown conversations when forgetting we're recording. So we wanted to have Papa Ghoul on. Sorry, our legs are all stuck. Remember when I was younger and I hated when we went on rides of Florida and your legs would be touching mine like now?
She was so mean to me, right, Dad? You were there.
I used to have to say, shut up, or I'm going to turn around.
Not at all, did you?
he maybe once or twice he said, cut it out.
Well, it was probably to you because I was nice.
Then your mother would say, you ain't turning shit around. Keep driving.
You ain't turning shit around. Keep driving.
I was going to say, who are these people?
Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
He wouldn't actually talk to her like that.
I would never talk to her like that.
I would look at her and go, don't touch me. Don't put, get your legs off of me.
So mean to me.
And then she would feel really sad, which now as adults, I feel really sad.
But I don't.
The thought of that is making me want to drink.
Speaking of, you can open it.
Oh, yeah.
Papa Ghoul's Genesee Cream Ale. That was a good pop, you guys. That was a good, and a good sip. What do you call that?
ASMR.
ASMR.
Because if you do like, sounds nice in your ears.
Yes, and I said an ASMR.
Well,
You said ASMR.
We can call it ASMR.
We're going to call it ASMR?
ASMR?
So we wanted Papa Ghoul to be on this episode because he's the rock of the family. He's also had some things happen in the past, and he's just fucking cool. So
yes, he is.
Who can say yes, he is?
I think they're biased.
We're not. If you meet him, you think so too. I
think, yeah, because everyone who does also agrees.
Yes. I don't think anyone didn't think he was.
Girls, you're making me blush.
Okay. So we're going to ask Papa Ghoul. What do you think about the paranormal, Dad? Do you believe in it or what?
So this is the thing, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think there's things that happen. I don't think everything that you guys see is paranormal.
Wow.
However, I believe that energy is energy, and you got positive or negative energy.
Yeah.
Energy changes, but it never goes away. So yeah, there's something out there that I believe in.
Listen, he's the smart one in the family. He doesn't jump to conclusions. Not that Mom does, but she does, and so do we.
Well, we kind of think everything's a ghost. Yeah. Well, you know what? Actually, I used to, but now I try to find logical things. But sometimes there's not. Most of the time, there's not.
Yeah. Nope. Dad's right, because realistically, a lot of everything comes from energies.
Yeah.
Negative, positive,
Everything's
everything.
energy.
Yeah. So that whole, remember when we were talking about shadow people? We brought you up when we were talking about was it the second episode? We brought up, was it the shadow people, and we said you thought that they could be time travelers.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a plethora of theories on all these different anomalies that people see. And one of the theories is that they're time travelers, and they're either looking at changes they can make in the past to make their future better, or they're just observing. So I am a true believer in time travel also. I don't think that it's impossible. Einstein had kind of figured things out. So again, that's my thought. I'm not saying I'm right, but I'm certainly not fucking wrong.
That's what I was going to say. I believe it.
I feel like that's a way better reason.
He put that so, what's the word, eloquently?
Beautifully and intelligently.
I would have tripped over all of those words and not remembered who said what.
If our brain slowed down, we could maybe talk like our dad.
Yeah, people are going to say, how the hell are those two related to him?
Well, when Mom does like a little bit on an episode, if she has enough attention span to be on one to talk her game, then we will have her on, and you'll see where we get both.
So again, another theory is somebody that mind is moving at light speed, like Gigi Ghoul, my beautiful bride. The theory is they're so intelligent that their mind is always looking in the future and looking for advancement, that they can't articulate their thoughts into speech because their mind is so moving so fast.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
again, it's
Mhm.
not always, hey, this broad is confused.
Yeah.
She's thinking ahead. So
That's so true.
Yeah, my brain moves way
Yeah.
faster than I can speak.
Yeah, they've listened to the last 8 episodes. They know.
yeah, I did too.
It's okay. Yes, our parents
Yeah.
listen to every episode. We have a Sunday premiere.
Yes. So when I upload Sundays, we go to Papa Ghouls and Gigi Ghouls with the puppy ghouls everywhere,
Yeah.
and we hang out and listen to our podcast.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a good time. So, Papa Ghoul, you heard his belief on the paranormal.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to ask Dad for you to talk a little bit about Grandma G, your Grandma G's in Texas when you were younger. Now, don't forget, everybody, I know you like to say, Dad, we're American Mexican. Like we have Mexican, Italian, Sicilian, that's our heritage. So again, let's talk about Grandma G in Texas.
You guys know that my grandmother was a bruja.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Witch, you guys.
She's a witch, and in the town they lived in, which is a big town, and it's got the river walk. I think.
Love the river.
Oh, yeah, that's the same.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And well, San Antonio.
Yeah.
So they lived in the barrio, which is a Latino part of the town, and I'm not saying it's Santeria. I'm not really sure what it was, but it started with my uncle, and then after my uncle had decided he didn't want to do it anymore, my aunt took it over, and a spirit called the Nino would enter their body. So the oddity was the house had a little side room on it, and the town or the neighborhood people would come in, and the spirit would supposedly enter my Aunt Eva, and she would give advice and guidance to the town folk. So my
That's pretty
daddy,
cool.
well, it's pretty freaky actually.
Well, yeah, it was.
It's like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Or JoJo.
So my daddy and my uncles would say, listen, your aunt's loca in cabeza. She's just crazy.
Crazy in
She's
her
just
head.
crazy. Which I didn't know about this. So after we moved back from Hawaii, we lived in a town called Del Rio in Texas, which you hear in the news all the time because all the crossings are happening there.
Mm-hmm.
And we would go once a month to my grandmother's house. So we'd get there, and my grandmother'd be sitting there, my aunts and my uncles. It'd be a big celebration when my daddy came into town.
Sorry about that.
And it'd be a big celebration when my daddy came into town. So everybody was there, and all my cousins were there too. So I had Johnny and Jesse and my brother, Papa Ghoul.
I love it. Wait, that's so sick.
My
I'm
brother,
choking on the one.
my brother Papa Ghoul was my grandmother's favorite. So and she didn't
Really?
speak, she didn't speak English, and she just loved this dude. Not me so much, because I was like my mother, I guess, and I thought everything was kind of foolish. So I remember they would say, Papa Ghoul, sneak into the room and get some oranges, because at that point everybody would bring oranges, bananas,
Yum.
apples, pan de dulce, which
Oh.
is Mexican sweetbread, and they give it to the altar. And so my cousins and I, it's okay.
It's okay.
And then my dad would come in like, "What are you doing, mijo?"
Oh, he's so
Oh,
cute.
no.
I'm like, "Oh, Dad, I just wanted oranges." "No, you don't go in there and get the oranges. No, go put them back." And so he'd bring me into the room, and he'd give me other oranges in front. He'd tell me to go out the side door. And then he'd come back in, and I can hear him telling his mother, my grandmother, that he took care of it and it would never happen again. Then my Uncle Johnny would come over and like, "Listen, mijo," which means my son in Spanish.
Yes.
He'd, "Listen, mijo, if you want something, just let me know. I'll go get it. I'll go get it for you." And so every day we'd be like, "Can you get some oranges and grapefruit?"
Can you get some oranges and grapefruit? And he still eats his
I was going to
grapefruit.
say, here's my question, though. Was there any other oranges and grapefruit that were not on the altar?
So, again, we are American Mexican. They were very traditional
Right.
in my grandmother's house. So I remember we came in one day and it was for Christmas, and they knew that we were coming down, and my daddy was just the special guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so we walked into the house, and I looked at the table, and there was a pig's head on the table.
What the frig?
Oh.
I think you said the story
I'm gonna throw
before.
up, I say, I think
So
I
my
remember
daddy
that.
walks in and he's all smiling. He's like, tamale.
Oh my God.
And I'm like,
Oh.
tamales? It's a pig's head, man. the fuck you mean tamale?
Tamale.
So what they would do is they had the pig's head on the table, and they would take the flesh off the cheeks and then get the muscle and stuff from the cheeks, and that would be the meat that they use for the tamale.
That is straight out of one of my nightmares,
Yeah.
I think.
If you really look at our layout of our body, I think we're pork more than beef.
They say it tastes like.
I would say this is Dad's theory: is we would be more pork than beef.
Well, and again, I can
it
tell
makes
you why.
sense. No,
Because
it makes sense.
insulin, they used to get from pork, the pigs,
Oh shoot.
which is pork.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I've been with mommy for many, many moons, and I can tell you, she's better than bacon.
No, I knew it was gonna be something terrible.
I literally shot that out of my mouth.
Look, Mom's gonna kick your ass.
And bacon's delicious.
Oh my God! I just shot the wine out.
The only thing better than bacon is more bacon or mommy.
Oh my God!
I should have said Gigi go. Never mind. Now
Gigi.
subject. Let's get
Gigi.
back to the
Yes, okay.
paranormal.
What's that together?
What the hell is that?
That's the dog.
Okay, everything sounds a little different through the headphones.
Well, that sounded like that rustler.
Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Woo! Woo!
Anyway, so
That's the next thing I'm gonna ask. Hey, JoJo, you're doing something, so never mind. We were wondering back in the day when we were younger. We had, I think it was Aunt Vicky. She was the storyteller. Remember?
oh yeah, donkey lady.
Yes, donkey lady. She used to tell us about eggs, something about like eggs putting under the bed and all that. What was that like ritual, or what was it that they did? Sorry about that.
So it's one of those things. It's probably tradition, a little bit of the witchcraft or their belief. So what they would do is they would get an egg, and they do the sign of the cross on a person's forehead and say a prayer. I don't know if it was the Our Father or Hail Mary, but they would say a prayer, and then they would put this egg under the bed in a bowl, and supposedly that the prayer, the egg would capture whatever the sickness was.
Yeah.
And they would pull out the egg the next day, break it open, and if the egg had blood in it, it got the it got what was
like the evil, the bad.
Well, the evil, the sickness, whatever you want to call it. But oddly enough, so I believe in things, and I believe that mind has a lot of power to make things happen.
Yeah.
And again, I don't believe that everything I see is paranormal, but when my daddy was sick and he was dying and my aunts were up here, they would do that kind of stuff, and they would crack the egg open, and there would be traces of blood. So I understand there's blood in eggs sometimes.
Yeah.
But more often than not, it's a little weird.
Yeah.
So and it would be more often than not. So there's got to be something to it. So
to
maybe
it,
it's mind over matter, or mind over yolk, whatever the case may be. But
mind over yolk. Oh, you got a Michelob Ultra or JoJo Ghoul?
Sorry, everybody. I was refilling. But yes, the egg story. I always think that's wicked interesting.
We're past that. No.
Well, I just came back in for it, but I was
Well,
still
listen, he
listening.
said that they used to do that. Remember, they used to do the sign of the cross and on the head and then put it under and crack it. Well, he was talking about Grandpa. And when he was sick, they did it. And more.
They did it, and they would crack open the egg. So they would do the sign of the cross. My children, my army, we would do the sign of the hammer.
Yes. the sign of the hammer.
If you know what that is, just, you're cool.
But children, you might not realize I was born under the sign of the hammer in the year of the sword.
Wait, were you really?
Wait, you were born in the year of the
calendar
sword?
I made up, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, wait, what are we?
I'm like, wait a minute. Am I born under the year of the sword? Wait, no,
so
I would be
somebody
his
made up
age.
a calendar, right? Somebody made up the Chinese calendar. So you get the year of the monkey, the year of the
Okay,
ox,
so Dad made up.
I made up my own calendar, the Warriors calendar, and I was born under the sign of the hammer in the year of the sword. It's just the way it is.
Then I was born under the sign of spirits, as in booze, and the ocean.
All right, you're getting out of control.
And I'm over here like, I'm the sign of tequila and lime.
What are
Look
you
at-
kids doing?
He's
today?
just drinking.
What are you kids doing to me?
He's over here like, well, specifically, but and we're like, I'm the sign of tequila and lime.
If I had to be a sign of a weapon, I think I'd be like a bow and arrow from back in the day, though.
That'd be cool.
I would. That's what I would do. Sign of the bow and the arrow.
What about you, Dad? Sign of the sword? Or-
Hammer and sword.
Oh. Okay, well, I'm gonna take that sickle from that wicked tail. I'm gonna take that sickle. Remember the thing in the basement in my old place where you live now, Jojo?
Yeah.
And I used to hold the dryer closed with it. I don't know what it was, but I always told my buddy C that if there was a zombie apocalypse, I already had one of my weapons and I was fine. And I was dead serious.
Listen, fuck around about the apocalypse. She told me that if I turned into a zombie, she would not keep me chained up and locked in the basement, and she'd kill me. And I cried.
So I have my nephew, who's like a little brother, Manigal.
Manigal.
He has a daughter, and we went to lunch one day, and she's like, "Hey, Uncle Papa Ghoul, are you ready for the zombie apocalypse?"
Apocalypse.
I said, "What do you mean, honey?" She goes, "When the zombie comes alive, it's going to be the apocalypse." I said, "We're ready. I got a hammer
And a sword.
and I have a sword." And she goes, "But will you need a gun?" I said, "No,
Guns draw attention.
I'll need a hammer and I'll need a sword."
And a sword. Listen, I know everybody wants guns during the zombie apocalypse.
They're too loud.
Yeah, listen, you got to know how. First of all, you
All
got to
right,
be in.
so
okay.
let's okay.
All right.
Paranormal. Let me just say this. What is more scary? A zombie from 28 Days Later that had the rage zombie-ness, or the zombies from Night of the Living Dead or Day of the Dead or Dawn of the Dead?
Remakes or old schools?
Old school.
Okay.
Nevertheless, they're walkers. Not like that show, The Walkers.
Walking Dead, you mean?
Yeah, whatever that is.
Yeah.
With Carl.
Coral.
And not like, but they're walking,
Yeah.
but you never get away from them. So
They're like-
that's
Oh.
scary as.
I was gonna say
Fool.
true.
Yeah,
Versus
fool.
like 28 days later, they'll eventually die when they're when they starve to death
Right.
Oh, well, that's the thing.
because they're not actually
Yes,
zombies technically.
This is a thing, too, you guys might think is pretty cool. 28 Days Later is technically in the zombie genre,
Mhm.
but it's actually just a rage
It's an
virus.
infection.
They're people like us that are infected with the rage virus. So they're alive. Their heart's beating and everything. But they just want to tear you to fucking shreds. And
Yeah.
they
I-
like eat you. So
I'm personally more scared of 28 Days Later because I can't run fast
No,
and
no.
I'd be done for.
So well, it all depends on what weapon. So if I'm in a
Mhm.
28-day later,
oh, you want a gun.
yeah,
I want a
wanna-
machine
I want a
gun.
machine gun
Yeah.
with a
Mhm.
never-ending magazine.
Yeah.
Right.
But if I'm in the
Old
Walking
school
Dead,
Night
a
of the
sword
Living Dead.
would
Yeah.
suffice.
give me the sword and give me the hammer.
Yeah.
Those motherfuckers are going down.
So-
Oh my God, you
true.
couldn't listen. Barbara, they're coming for you,
They're
Barbara.
coming for you,
So all you
Barbara.
gotta do is get a butter knife and run past everyone like.
Yeah.
So listen, listeners, this is the problem that we have when we're together. Our minds go anywhere. So I hope you
Yeah.
enjoy it.
The banter.
Yeah, if you don't,
You don't. This
what are you
isn't
gonna
for
do?
you.
As I always say, you're gonna be fine.
Good for you.
Everyone's fine.
Good
Good for you. Good for you.
So the last we talked about was the eggs.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
something to that.
Yeah.
There is something to
Mhm.
that. And
I think
again,
so.
when my tia Eva,
Tia Eva. Tia Eva.
when and my tia Vicky, I never called them that. I just called them Aunt.
Didn't they tell us we had
Yeah,
to
we
say
called her
Tia?
Tia.
Yeah.
I said, nah, we don't. They had the best stories.
Mm-hmm.
So my Aunt Vicky with Donkey Lady.
Don't.
Yeah.
that was- yeah.
And the devil that lived under the bridge behind their house, which is creepy as F, because
Yeah.
when I was a
Ooh.
child, my cousin
That's creepy.
Johnny and Jesse
yeah.
would be like, hey, Papa Ghoul, let's go to the bridge, Holmes. And I'm like, what bridge, man? The bridge over there where the devil
Ew, why would anyone want to go there?
And I'm like,
You know you would have.
the devil
I
don't
don't
live under the
know.
bridge. He does. So I'd be going down there, and the closer we would get, they'd be like, we're getting closer to the devil's den.
No, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it.
So, but this is the thing. So we'd go there. We never went under a bridge because I was a child, so my balls were like peanuts. Now I'm older. Now my balls are sinking to my knees, but still like peanuts.
Oh my God.
Anyways, we never went under the bridge. So I remember going back and telling your grandfather,
Yeah.
Dad, we went to the bridge. He goes, my daddy spoke in broken English.
He's
Mijo,
so cute.
never go to the bridge. That's where the devil
Oh my God, he said it too.
lives. Yeah, so
Wait, that's terrible. Oh, I
Yeah.
spit everywhere. I'm so uncomfortable about the devil.
The Devil's Bridge. Thank God we don't have no Devil's Bridge here.
well, we might.
It's
Oh, and we have the one. Today, a poem about clowns from the Poopy Ghoul newsroom. Welcome, one and all, to my menagerie of freaks. Listen closely, and in my ravings, the truth I will speak. Years ago, the carnival burned to the ground, yet no bones were ever found. For the lost and the damned, the decades pass us slowly by. Please take your partner's hand, for in our madness you will fly. Our death will not but the end. Now, ask yourself this, my friend. Will you live to see the rising sun and show itself? It has already begun. And now, our special guest will talk about his experience with clowns. That was so hard to read for my dyslexia brain. So for some reason.
good though. That's a good poem.
And I really do have dyslexia. Let them know.
Let him know.
I'm not faking an illness.
Okay. So, Papa Ghoul is going to tell us about his clown story now.
So hear my words, for I speak true. I was a child on this earth for 15 sons.
Shit, so he was 15 years old. That's scary because you weren't a
So,
little kid.
When I was a kid,
That is creepy, actually.
when I was a kid,
We're like,
I used to like to take a nap in my mother and my father's room because it was the coolest room. It had 2 windows, and so you got good airflow, and they had the most powerful fan. I had a small window fan.
Fun fact, it's my room now.
It really is.
Mine and poo-poos.
So my mother, as you kids know, had oddities.
Yes.
Porcelain dolls, porcelain clowns, which are fucking horrifying.
They were really
porcelain
creepy.
clowns. Yeah, those are fucking creepy.
She had little nun dolls on their hands and knees, and priest dolls, and a Princess Diana doll.
Oh, I remembered. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a
God,
collectible.
she had
yeah,
so
yeah,
many.
absolutely.
It was
yeah.
so pretty.
Yeah, she had
Hank
tons.
William Jr. doll.
Yeah.
The Cowardly Lion.
Yeah.
Fight with a king
Oh my God.
of the jungle.
Which also, fun fact, my father is the Cowardly Lion.
I'm not cowardly, but I am a lion.
We'll post pictures proving
Yeah.
that he's a big cat this weekend.
So nevertheless,
Oh, yeah.
I would take a nap on my mother's bed, and on her headboard, she had the old school headboards like the old people have, made of wood, and she had a clown that like draped over the top of it, and it was hooked. I don't even know how it was hooked, but it was there, and it was terrifying to me as a child. It's terrifying to me as an adult.
Look at
He looks nervous, so you guys all know.
flashback to
I'm
that.
I'm breaking out into a sweat. So I went up to go lay down, and some people are gonna say, "You're sleeping. That didn't happen." I'm gonna tell you, it fucking did.
You know
Yeah.
you were awake. I hate when
He's-
people
yeah.
try to say you're
Yeah.
asleep when you know you were
I'm
awake.
laying on the bed, trying to go to sleep. This doll, it was one of those dolls that you moved or shaked, and it would laugh.
I remember the specific doll.
I feel like I do,
like the
too.
doll. So I'm laying on the bed. This doll falls on my head, starts laughing.
No.
Okay, and then they take it from the poltergeist. They took it from me.
They took it from
They
me.
took it from me. So this clown fell on my head. It started laughing, freaked me right the F out.
Mm.
So I get up and run out, tell my mother who's downstairs. I'm like, Ma, your clown just fell on my head and started laughing, freaked me out. And she's like, son, it couldn't. There's no batteries. That hasn't worked in a long time.
It's so
I
awful.
know.
I'm like, it just did. So she comes upstairs with me,
Stop.
No,
opens it up. There's no batteries.
Oh, man.
She moves it.
there weren't even batteries on
No, there's no
Done.
batteries. It didn't work, she said.
it. No, I shit my
Done.
pants.
And I said, that thing started laughing. So she moved it and made a laughing noise. And she's like, but it didn't laugh like it did on me. It
Right.
landed on me. It was like,
No.
Oh my God,
That's
stop.
awful. No, but that was actually really a good clown laugh.
but
Yeah.
Sounded like a hot.
because it's embedded in my memory. It's in
Oh
my,
wait, that's so creepy because you can just hear it in your
it's
head.
in my bank of
That's
horror.
scary.
My bank of horrors. I love that.
Yeah, that's good.
I
Bank
love
of
that.
horrors.
So there was no batteries.
There's no bad.
He goes, there's no Listen, there was no fucking batteries.
That-
That's all I know.
Yeah,
So
it's terrifying.
I had an epiphany.
Oh my God, Ace Ventura.
That shit happens, and sometimes you can't explain it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's the other part
true.
of when he talked about the paranormal. When he's like, well, there's usually explanations, energies, this and that. This is one of those creepy ones. Like,
Yeah.
this is fucking weird.
So, girls, I don't know if I told you. After my daddy had passed away, my mother had stayed in the house, and Gigi Ghoul and I were on the other side. It's a big duplex,
Mhm.
and my mother, if you're a pretty brave old lady, I'm.
Oh
telling you,
yeah, she
For
was
sure.
though. No, she was a badass.
Wait, just so everybody listened to our first episode, this is Grandma next door in the house. When we left her there, because we said
Yeah.
she's a pretty big badass, we got our other grandma to
she
come
was-
back.
She was badass.
The grandma that lived in that house is my dad's mom. That's who we're talking about.
Yes, I left her there alone to go to my sister's because I knew she'd be fine because she's a
Absolutely.
badass.
Well, Grandma had a theory.
Oh.
Daddy died in this house. He won't let anything happen to me.
Wait,
Yeah.
you know what? Because I say to Poopy all the time that there's too many people that love us
love-
that
yeah.
have passed away in this house. So even if there are
Yeah.
is something
Yeah.
bad, they're gonna protect us. That's why I'm not really scared anymore.
It sucks to have so many people that you love in your family that have passed, but there's a lot of
Yeah.
people that watch over you. For
So,
Yeah.
sure.
well,
Absolutely.
yeah, part of life is dying. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So we
Yeah.
got to carry on, and again, their energy. So
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Grandma, she knew
Grandpa
she was
Ghoul was positive.
good. Grandpa
energy.
Ghoul.
Yeah.
He was
Grandpa Ghoul.
positive energy. But my mother would call me over, and she'd be like, "Papa Ghoul, are you upstairs walking around?" And I'd be like, "No." She goes, "I hear somebody walking around."
Yeah.
And so I'd go over and I'd go upstairs, and there'd be nobody walking around. Or she would say, "Son, my music box is going off in the front room."
Oh my God. Stop.
Upstairs. So I'd go up. Things are mechanical. So these
Yeah.
things were old,
Old.
pretty awesome, kind of creepy though. Everything she had was kind of
Oh,
creepy.
It
Literally.
was a little creepy.
Yeah,
when I
they
moved in
were.
there and she had so much stuff
Yeah,
left.
and then
Oof,
again,
yeah.
they were collectibles, and she was an old broad, you know.
Very
what I mean? And
cool, but yeah.
so again, mechanical could have got stuck, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, but more often than not,
Yep.
it was always the carousel that was going off.
That's
So
so
she would
creepy.
say, and I'm like, "Ma, well, I don't know if it's got stuck or if it's broken, but I would unwind and make sure it was unwind."
Yeah.
But a week later, she would say the same thing, and she's like, whatever. They're just trying to get my attention. I'll just ignore it.
It's
Oh
so
my
true.
gosh.
Listen, but they're still at
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I have toys in that toy box for the little ones that I watch here and there.
Mm-hmm.
They will go off sometimes randomly in the
That's so
toy box.
crazy.
So things still kind of go off unexpectedly, but like grandma,
Yeah.
which I wonder if she whispered this into my ear one day, which is don't worry. Like,
Yeah.
ignore them if they seem bad. And if they don't, like, it's probably just the family. Grandpa's there. He passed away there.
Yeah.
We've got other Grandpa Ghoul's chair there that he had passed
Yep.
away in.
Yep.
We've got grandma. So it's
Yep.
just, they're all there. I
Aunt,
feel
we
like it's
have
an
aunt,
army
yeah,
of family
aunt.
that
I
love
said
us.
our Aunt Ghoul.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
so this is the thing. Graham, she lived there
Yeah.
until she chose not to. But
And then I moved in.
right,
Yes,
well,
and then
she
Ghoul
made
moved in.
a choice, but
Yeah.
she wasn't really afraid of anything. Now the funny thing is, children, my army, Grandpa was a great dude,
Yeah.
and he would run through a mountain to protect
Yeah.
his family.
Yeah.
But he was kind of a chicone.
I was
Chicken.
gonna say, wasn't he actually kind of scared of things though? And
He-
Grandma was the badass,
Right. So if something happened, if there was a funky noise in the basement or something like that, he'd come up and I'm like, "Dad, what are you doing?" My dad was dark skinned.
Oh, he was so cute.
Latino
So
man.
happy. So
I'm like, Dad,
handsome.
what are you doing? You look as pale as a ghost. And he's like, yeah, Bobo, I heard a noise. I heard a noise in the basement. I'm just coming here now. All right. So,
Oh,
but
that's freaking
he's so
hilarious.
cute.
yeah, he.
Well, wait, the
There he
bats.
was.
Remember when we would get bats in the house when I was younger, and
Oh.
you weren't there, and Mom had to get him, and he closed himself in the bedroom with a bat. Now, you guys, he was terrified of
He
a bat.
was just as scared as
Yeah.
our mother.
He closed
of
himself
bats.
into Mom and Dad's bedroom
Aw.
with a bat, with the bat, and
remember.
somehow didn't he get him
Yeah, with a sheet.
with the sheet or
I
pillowcase
remember-
or something?
Oh,
it was a towel.
That he went in. Oh, it's so
Listen,
sad.
he was so scared,
sweet.
but he knew my mom was there alone.
So, but
came
this
right
is
over.
the thing.
So funny.
They were old school. Your grandfather never thought chivalry was dead, so
Yeah.
he would always go there and try to protect a woman. Chivalry is not dead.
It's not.
No, it's not.
In
No,
my
yeah.
generation,
Yeah.
the fathers
Yes.
took care of the family.
Yep.
That included the mother and the children.
Yep.
male and
Absolutely.
female.
And if
So,
you
and
were
that's
at
what you
work,
guys grew up
Grandpa
with.
would step
Right,
in if he
right.
had to.
Yeah.
Even if he was shitting his pants, as I would have been.
Yeah,
Listen,
he was
he was
He
terrified.
was a. I'm going to use a French slang word. He was a chicken.
A chicken. He said, "I'm going to use a French slang word, chicken."
Chicken.
Oh, there you go.
Mom is in the other room right now and giving me credit for when Dad was at work and Grandpa had already passed on to his clearing, entered his clearing. I
yes.
was the one that had to step up to take
Yep,
care of the
yep,
bats.
Yep.
I remember one time there was a bat flying in the house.
Jojo.
Jojo Ghoul, you were a baby, infant, and
Oh, I remember that too. If you're about to tell the time that I
Yeah.
was slept on the couch.
mommy jumped to the ground and crawled out of the house, and
Reached up.
you as an infant and your sister were left there with the bat flying around your head, and it was like a Bela Lugosi bat or a Vincent Price bat. That
No,
fucker
I'm
had the face.
fucking gonna die.
It was huge.
I'm going to suck you.
Oh my God, he's acting like a bat. Everybody, listen. That story's absolutely true because that's now why I have a problem with bats. Jojo was different. She was a baby.
Well, because I helped Dad. I
Yeah.
was the one. Listen, though, after Grandpa had passed away and Dad needed a hand to get a bat out, it sure as hell wasn't you and Mom.
Okay, so we ramble.
Yeah,
because
so,
that's what we
Oh, and
do.
everyone's
Yeah,
gonna be
so the
fine.
clown situation.
Oh,
that
yes.
was
So the
effed
clown was
up, yeah.
freaky,
Awful.
but all those other things that happened,
Yeah,
and so there, I have a theory. This is my house.
yeah.
It's
Mm-hmm.
not your house.
Okay, so this brings
Oh,
me to
Yes,
here we
wait.
go.
So every time something fucking really scary
Yeah,
happens,
like when they were in Mexico and then they came back.
yes, you come
Yeah.
back and what do you do when you go through the house? Like, what do you say? What do you do
And then when you close yourself, like
to let
in the
them
rooms,
know?
yeah,
I'm in
like
charge.
remember it at the just so everybody knows, my grandmother and grandfather, my dad's mom and dad, their house is the duplex that Jojo Ghoul,
Yes.
Papa Ghoul live in, and my mother and father live in on the other
Yeah.
side.
It has been in
Yeah.
our family literally at least 33
Yes.
years because that's
Yes.
as long as I've been alive.
So before
So longer
Jojo,
than that.
before Jojo and Poopy Ghoul lived there, I lived there in
Yeah.
Grandma's side, and there were things that happened there. He also closed himself into what I called the playroom, and then he
Mhm.
also did stuff in his
Yeah.
side of the house. So what is it, Dad, that you do when stuff is crazy active, or we come to you with scenarios like the scenario about the shadow?
Playroom.
Yeah,
Was my bedroom.
yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah. So that
That's terrifying.
You
I was
thought,
drinking.
"Ooh."
I had a whole mouthful of wine.
so that was my bed. As a
Oh.
child, I was always spiritual.
Yeah.
I like religion. I like all religions. I like reading about religion, but I try to be a spiritual person, but
Yes.
I'm the master of reality. So I don't. Again, it's about the energy, positive or
Mhm.
negative energy.
yeah.
So there were some times where the hair stood up on my back of my neck and I got creeped out, but I was never really afraid. Don't
Right.
get me wrong. I'm saying I don't get scared of things, but I'm never afraid of anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They might startle me. They might scare me.
So, you
So-
know, I get that. I totally
So
get
when-
that.
When I
Absolutely.
get home and you guys say, Dad, this happened,
Yeah.
and I go into the room, I'll go into the room. Of course, I say a prayer of protection, the theory of the old God. So Odin and
Mhm.
protecting
Yeah.
your family. And nevertheless, so I would go into the room where you guys said something was scary. And
Mhm.
of course, I say the prayer of protection. and ask Jesus to guard over me and don't let anything get attached to me. And then I lay down the fucking law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my house.
I knew that.
It's not your house.
Yeah.
If you choose to do something and I do not approve of it, then it's not approved and you're not allowed to do it.
Yeah.
So unless I say it's okay, it's not okay. And so after Grandma had my big brother Gonzo Ghoul lived in the house, and he got remarried, and he had his stepchildren and his children, and they had moved out, and I was in the middle room painting where your closet is basically your makeup room, not your makeup room, the middle room.
No, but the makeup room / I now call it the library. That was your old room, our closet. Yes.
Right. So
Okay,
the closet room, the walls were painted red, and
ceiling still is.
Yeah. And so I was repainting it, and it's an old house, so it has the old light fixtures. So I'm painting, and it's 2:00. I want to say 3:00, but it wasn't 3:00.
I know. See, we don't fabricate shit. We just tell you how it
So,
is.
Yeah.
It was 1:30, 2:00 in the morning, hotter than Hades. And so I'm painting the walls. I'm doing it, and the light flickers off. So I'm like, oh, what the heck, man? I go over and mess with it. It comes on. So I'm thinking it's an old light fixture. So doing it again, and I'm listening to, I believe it was Seventh Son of a Seventh Son from Iron Maiden.
Of course. I wouldn't expect anything else.
It was on CD back in the day. And the light goes off again. So I'm like, so I go to the bulb, and I tighten up the bulb. It's pretty tight, and mess with the thing, and it just comes on. I'm like, then it goes off again. I said, I've had enough. I want to get this room done. Leave the fucking light alone.
Leave the fucking light alone.
And then came back on.
Yep.
And then never went back off. So children, my army, I would literally go into the room and say, you can't do this. You can't do it. It's not cool to scare my kids.
Yeah.
It's not cool to try to scare me because it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Even though I'm kind of lying to myself because it's a little freaky.
It's scary. It's a little scary.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
No, I agree because that's what I do now. I just either I don't give it the attention it's asking
That's
for.
where I'm at.
Or I say cut the shit because I'm done with it. I'm done with it. And now all they do is scare Ripley. I feel pretty. Poopy sometimes gets a little worried. But
well, this is the thing. When you two were children, and you would hear talking, kids in your middle bedroom.
Oh yeah,
you
your
would hear
story when you were young.
Yeah, she's coming in,
or she's gone, or whatever.
I believe all that shit happened.
Yeah.
My sister, Papa Ghoul, your aunt that you talked about in a couple episodes back. I think she has a gift of the second sight.
Yeah,
I think she has. Some abilities. So
she's the awesome aunt, just so you know that we were talking about.
But she does the Wiccan shit, with the tarot cards and Ouija board, which never do.
Absolutely.
We always say it. Even Papa Ghoul says it. No Ouija board, you guys.
I've never done one, and I want to so bad. And that's how I know, though, not to, because
you want to.
It's calling me. And
I am your father, and I say no.
No, and you know what, everybody? I don't go against my parents. I listen to them, even though I'm 33. I will listen to my parents.
Yes, and I'm also 33.
So is our mother and our father. And
I brought them to the hospital when they had me. So
everyone's like, "What?"
So I think things were opened up. You know, my uncle, your uncle Gonzo Ghoul had said, "Hey, Papa Ghoul, we want to come over, and we got some paranormal research and some EVP equipment and voice box thing, and we just want to go over an attic and kind of
to record. I remember this.
Investigate the house." And I said, "Listen, dude, I love you, my brother.
Absolutely.
You come over to my house anytime you want to come over, but you're not going to provoke anything that may be there. And I'm not going to allow it, because this is the thing, kids. Keys get moved. I don't think it's paranormal. Mommy does. You might. Something's not supposed to be where it's probably where you left it.
Well, I would say it depends on where I find it.
See, I don't categorize that either paranormal. Well, I feel like it's a misplaced
everything's paranormal. So my big thing at the house is everything is not paranormal. There's typically a logical reason, but sometimes there's not.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's not. Yeah. And I'm not the guy that's going to say, "You're a foolish woman." I'm not going to say that. Because sometimes there's no explanation for it. And I believe in that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to give in to the fear of it.
Yeah.
Because listen, if God is with us, who can stand against us?
Exactly.
And that's how I feel too.
Army of
What should
Armor of God.
what's thou shall not fear?
Yeah.
Right.
Because
Oh,
you have
yeah,
God, and that's
exactly.
how I feel. Hey,
So,
Poopy, I'm talking to my sweet sassy wife.
She wants more of that Michelob Ultra.
Yes, I've switched from the wine to Michelob, and everyone's gonna like it.
I think you should go with the Genesee Cream Ale.
Oh my God, listen. Dun, dun, dun,
The music.
dun, dun. Yeah, my dad was in a band. It was called Nemesis back in the day.
He was in a few bands, but Nemesis
My
is my personal favorite.
very favorite. Nemesis, Payne's Hollow, and
then I did some recordings for Klein's
Mind, yes.
Yep.
So I have those all on a CD, you guys. So that's why you hear him at the end and stuff. I don't know what's happening in the kitchen.
Poop dropped
So
milk on
actually,
your
that,
fridge.
that little intro song, this song right here, that's going on. This song is called Wisdom.
Oh, it is called Wisdom.
The music was written by Mike Cook and Steve Bennett,
Yeah.
or Cookie Ghoul and Bennett Ghoul.
Cookie Ghoul.
and the lyrics, I wrote most of the lyrics. So that song's called Wisdom.
It's really good.
And it's what I'm trying to share. So I think that people have beliefs in a lot of different things and a lot of different theories. And who am I to say, no, you're not right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I know what I believe. And I believe there's powers out there that we can't understand.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I believe that to try to understand some of these things that happen in the world is like an ant looking at a human and trying to figure that out.
Like,
An
what
ant's
the
not gonna-
hell is that
well, that's-
shit?
Yeah.
what is that all about? So there are things, but I
You
have
never know, yeah.
I have a simple philosophy. Life is pretty good. Even when it's bad, it's still better than
Not being here at all.
not being here. So it's still
Yeah,
even when
yeah.
it's bad, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I try to roll with it. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell somebody that didn't happen. Well,
Yeah.
one thing I don't.
Yeah.
No, it's
Okay.
we have faith in it.
Right. At the
Yeah.
end, and faith just means blind hope.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, what we know in reality,
Mhm.
and this is the truth, energy changes, but it
Yes.
never fades away.
Yeah.
So,
All that energy goes somewhere.
because
Yeah.
when you kids tell me, Daddy, I saw an 8-foot Abraham Lincoln hat wearing
I did.
shadow figure.
I'm so sorry. I forgot we were recording.
Is there a demon
here? I forgot, guys.
Listen, JoJo Ghoul just burped in the mic so loud that none of us have any idea what to do with our face.
I was just hanging out.
I said with our face.
I forgot.
I thought it was a demon.
Listen,
All
you know
right,
what?
so you're gonna edit this. So when you tell me that there's an 8-foot Abraham Lincoln hat wearing shadow figure in the office,
There was
Our-
in the office in your bedroom.
so when you tell me there's an 8-foot Abraham, boy, oh woman.
This is what happens on pod.
No, it happens.
Listen,
All
that's
right,
why it's good
let me
to.
start. When you tell me there's an 8-foot Abraham Lincoln hat wearing shadow guy
Yeah,
in my doorway,
there was.
I believed you.
Yeah.
I didn't
it's true.
believe. I believe that happened, and then I went to dad mode and thought, "Don't get the fuck around with my children, my army."
Yeah.
So I laid down the law.
He took care of it.
Yeah.
A lot of things and a lot of little blips have happened over time. Gigi Ghoul had
Yeah.
sheets pull off her legs.
Yeah.
Oh my
right.
god! I know. She's got to talk to. She's
Yeah.
got some shit.
There's
Put it
one.
this way: I was in high school, and I have been out of high school for 15 years.
So I guess it's.
The older you get, the gap in time kind of
Oh, we're
fades.
learning that.
I would say no. I get that. I get it.
Time becomes an anomaly.
Yeah.
But through our whole life and through you guys,
Yeah.
your whole life, there's always been something there. There has been times when Mommy and I woke up at the same time because we thought one of you kids walked into the room.
Ooh.
It wasn't one of you kids. However,
Wait, ew, that's terrible, and I
Yeah.
don't know about. I said I don't know about that.
however, when Mommy and I wake up at the same time because we feel that one of the children walked into the room,
No,
I'm not saying a child didn't walk into the room.
it
just
just
wasn't
us.
I'm
us.
just saying it wasn't one of my
We
children.
said it at the same time.
But I will tell you, you guys talked about children in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You talked about children in
Grandma
the house.
saw kids.
Grandma saw kids. So the simple fact of the matter is there are things that we don't understand.
Yeah.
And so, and
It
you
just
guys know
isn't-
this is a creepy thing.
No, what?
Sometimes
I got scared.
demons will act like children.
Wait, no, I know that.
Demons will act like children?
Yes,
I said children's.
They'll take on an innocent form, so you're more trustworthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like little kid ghosts. I don't believe it.
Well, this is the
I got
thing.
so scared.
Maybe it is a child ghost.
Yeah.
Maybe it is not.
Yeah.
This is my theory. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
You don't get to do this in my house,
No matter what you are.
unless I
Mhm.
say it's okay.
Yeah.
I painted the symbols for angels.
I was
Yep.
gonna say
your
that.
room.
On your room. Yep.
After we had all the terrible shit,
Yep.
you moved out, so I moved into
Yep.
your room.
Yep.
You painted that symbol of protection on my
Right.
wall.
So
Oh, wait.
it was a symbol of Michael,
Yep.
the angel,
Mhm.
and
I loved him so
Samael.
Yeah.
And so, which the common folk these days will say Michael and Samuel, but back in the biblical days, it was
Oh.
Michael.
Mhm.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay, Azrael. Anyway,
Which how beautiful are those
exactly.
Azrael's a
It's
beautiful
so
name, yeah.
awesome. I always wanted to be named Gazrael.
That's right.
Oh, I like it. We'll just call you that instead. Yes, and our mother is Valentina Israel.
I don't
Just
know
kidding.
what-
That's
she's
not her
such
name
a-
at all.
So all these things in the house that we lived in
Yeah.
always happened. But as a child,
Mhm.
I lived in Fairfield, California. I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I remember we lived on an Air Force base. But I was on the second story window, and I swear on you guys
Yeah.
that I'm laying in bed, and there was a kid outside of my window saying, "Hey, you're gonna come out and play with us?" And
Oh my
this and
God.
that. So I was a
Shit-
child.
Shit my
Yeah.
pants over
So-
that.
For sure.
So
No, I didn't mean to say no. It's scary.
no, but I was a child, and I don't know if I was dreaming, but
Yeah.
I remember it. I'm an old timer right now.
Yeah.
I remember it like
No.
it was yesterday.
Ooh.
So-
it put a dent in that memory. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So there are things my
Ooh.
whole life. Your Dobby Gons and I, when we lived in Hawaii, we thought we stumbled across some ancient Hawaiian fucking chupacabra. I don't even
You
know.
probably
Right.
did.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do they
Yeah,
know?
so but
He was an army
we
brat.
believed it so
Lived
much.
everywhere.
Air Force brat.
Air
We
Force
believed
brat.
it so much that we called the police.
Yeah.
And they went and looked at it, and they're like, "There's nothing there, kids." And we could have swore there was.
That's
So-
awesome.
Creepy.
Yeah.
Throughout everybody's life, I'm sure every single person, unless they're lying to themselves, has something they can't truly explain.
Yeah.
There has to be. I
For
won't
sure.
believe
Okay.
anybody that says they
I'm
don't.
not going to be like that knucklehead on that TV show where I'm feeling angry now.
Oh.
Oh my
I'm-
God. Ooh,
I was saying,
I'm just going to say that there are things that always happen.
Yeah.
You kids have always been a part of it.
Yep.
Yes.
And listen, listeners, these girls are smart. They've been
Yes.
around. One thing they do not do, because this is the philosophy in our family, I speak true.
yes.
So hear me well. They're not lying to you with these things. Now,
No.
Yeah.
they might have a different thought, maybe a different tweak in the memory, but,
Yeah.
but the general story is dead on truth.
Yeah.
And when they say, my dad came over, I came over.
Mhm.
And let me tell you, I had the goosebumps when I
Yeah.
go in that room by myself. But
It's
again,
creepy.
He knows he's the man of the house. He's got
I
to lay
am.
the law
It's
down.
my house, and they're my
Yeah.
children, my army. Nobody gets to fuck with anybody
Yeah.
in my family.
Yeah.
And so I'd sit there and say, listen, this cannot happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I just want to tell you girls that I'm very proud of you.
Aw,
thanks,
I
Dad.
think you
Thanks,
guys are brave. I think you guys have great courage, and you're really good people, and you care about a lot of people. Just keep entertaining people. Don't fabricate things, and
Yep.
don't embellish them.
Yep.
Listen,
just
I would
speak the
never.
truth.
That's
Yep.
what, because I hate that people sell out. And
Yeah.
I hate
Don't-
that shit.
Yep.
No.
Absolutely.
If you don't have anything interesting to say, don't say it.
Yeah. Or let's say you have something small to say that you think is huge, so tell us anyway, like
Yeah.
in our Wicked
But
Tales.
don't lie.
Yeah. No lying. No lying.
A person has one thing that's going to talk about their character, and that's their integrity. Yep. and that's their integrity.
Yeah.
Listen, everybody lies. Everybody lies. You
For
don't
sure.
even mean to lie sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and when somebody says, well, it's an innocent white lie,
Yeah.
it's still a lie, right?
Yeah.
We
A
all
lie
do
is
it.
a lie. Yep.
I tell your mother, listen, baby,
Oh, my God.
that food was delicious. Okay.
Her food is.
And I don't like the onion. But
And I don't like the onion.
But I still say it anyway
Look
because it was delicious, but it just had the flavor of onion.
Oh, we don't.
Oh, my. Oh,
That's how you
no.
say it in French. I know because I watched the
no.
movie
All
Blues.
right, so
Okay,
listen,
okay.
let me just close with this.
Okay.
I'm proud of you girls. Listen, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this
Special guest appearance.
special
Wicked
guest
Tales.
appearance.
I know everyone
Not so
did.
special. I'm just the dude, right?
He's the
that's
most special.
Super special.
He made us with our mom.
I did, and it was super duper fun.
Oh, my God.
We continue to practice.
Oh,
Gigi
my.
Ghoul, say something to the mic for
Say
a quick
hi.
second.
Say hi,
Let's
Gigi
talk
Ghoul.
into the mic.
Hi, Gigi Ghoul. Oh, my God.
That's my beautiful bride.
Beautiful bride, Gigi Ghoul.
Everybody, continue to listen. Give them the support. Help them out the best you can. And most importantly, help each other out.
Yep.
And be good to each other. Okay?
Yep.
Because there's nothing more important than love.
If
And-
you
and
can't find a nice person, be the nice person.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
know what? There's three things you always need to remember. The first thing is never pass the opportunity to say I love you to a family member.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The second thing is always believe that you can.
Yep.
And the third thing is never give somebody the feeling of hopelessness.
Oh,
Never.
yeah.
If you do those three things, God will smile on you. Whatever God you believe in, that cat's going to smile on you. So I appreciate your time. I appreciate you listening to us. I hope you enjoyed us. I will say this, rock on.
Rock on.
Okay, you guys. I hope you enjoyed Papa Ghoul. We are so stoked he came on and told us about some shit.
Thanks, Dad.
Thanks, Daddy.
You're welcome, my children, my army.
My children, my army. So we want you guys to follow us on Instagram, Sinister Ghouls Podcast. Follow us, comment, tell your friends. Also, follow us on Facebook group, Sinister Ghouls Twisted Sisters.
You can follow me on MySpace.
MySpace. Oh
MySpace was the shit. You all know that.
I have the smile, the my duck smile.
My duck smile.
I have a smile to my duck smile.
I got the smile to my duck smile. Oh
MySpace.
my God. Okay.
Wow.
Let's see. Email us your wicked tales, your true stories, listener tales, whatever you want to call it, but we call them wicked tales. sinisterghouls23@gmail.com. Follow us on Spotify. Do our Q&A. Do our polls. Give us 5 stars if you love us. If you like us. If you don't, then don't. Whatever.
Yeah.
But other than that, also follow us on Stitcher.
Like me on Twitter.
He does not have a tweeter.
He doesn't have a tweeter, you guys.
On
We
Twitter.
are actually going to have one soon, so be prepared. Yeah.
Sorry.
Also follow us on Stitcher, Amazon Music, Google Music, and we're trying to do iTunes, so kind of hold tight. But other than that, we really hope you enjoyed this episode. Listener support also 99 cents, $4.99 or $9.99 a month. We appreciate everyone that's supporting us. And is there anything else you want to say, Papa Ghoul?
I do. For all you new school metal people, new school metal is good. I'm just going to say a couple things. Nevermore.
Nevermore.
Queen of the Reich.
I knew
Queen of the Reich.
Queen of the Reich by Queensryche.
Yes.
There's nothing better.
Nope. And with that, we're going to end. We hope you have a fantastic day.
And a good evening. Stay safe.
Stay sexy. Stay spooky.